Life is a running race. Failures or success, everything is in the process. This is nothing but a quote written by an 11-year-old girl who is none other than me. It was I who had the interest of speaking and writing. The nib of my pen was amateur but was never inactive. As someone said, chances knock at the door of seekers. When I was at class 10, we were given 5 marks in the examination for writing poems. Everyone searched for poems. At Konar Guide, it was I who started writing it with my own ideas. One such day, when I was scribbling something on my note while the teacher was teaching, it was my principal who passed the corridor. He looked at me through the windows kept ajar. He asked me, "Sneha, what are you doing?" I stood up and replied him in a tremble voice, "I'm writing poems." Suddenly, after listening to me, he entered the class, asked for my note, started reading all the poems that I have written. The entire class was hushed, and my heartbeat started rushed. The principal looked at the paper and me. He looked at me and the paper. Suddenly, after that, he left his hands inside the pocket and gave me a cash prize of rupees 500. And that was the first reward I received as a writer. And that's where the real story began. The nib of my pen and the touch of my tone has become the identity of mine. I left school, I left college, but not my passion. To pursue my passion, 2 years back, I entered into the field of compiling. Fortunately, my write-up got selected in an anthology and got platforms in Amazon, Books Club, etc. I became an authorized co-author of 1, 5, 10 and around 50 now, still counting. Did I stop there? I progressed into a head compiler. One of the significant anthologies of mine was En Avalin Yelu, which describes about the 7 still counting. Did I stop there? I progressed into a head compiler. One of the significant anthologies of mine was En Avalin Yelu, which describes about the 7 phases of women life. It was written by 7 different women. To add an essence to it, it was witnessed and recognized by one of the most important political leaders, Mr. Tol Tirumavalavan, and got launched at one of his conferences. To add my Josh again, around 70 copies of it has been sold. Everywhere I look, success all over. People around me celebrated. Esteem everywhere. All through the days was glory, glory and glory. But what about the other phase of my story? There were pages which were unseen and unnoticed in my life. Like the moon in the sky, like the side under the mud. I felt alone. I was in the dark place over days. Like a beam in a blind man's hand, I beam all the day but unseen. But how did I overcome this? Trusting the process so keen, I wait for my dark cloud rain. Trusting the process so keen, I wait for my dark cloud rain. It rained on the day, it rained on the day, it rained on the day so clean and made me green. Trusting in the process. Trusting in the process. People, I tell you, it was the 11-year-old girl who wrote about process is the 23-year-old woman who was brought up by the process. In the path of temptation, walk with all your dedication. Yours is the recognition. Let the world stun at your progress. You begin with your process. Thank you.